With it becoming increasingly more difficult for young buyers to enter into the housing market, we wanted to talk to you a little bit today about house hacking, what it looks like, what it means, and why it's so important. So the perfect person to talk to you about this today is actually Peter, because this week he purchased his first home. So congratulations, Peter.
Thank you very much.
So tell me a little bit about what you were looking for when you were purchasing your first home.
Yeah, so the whole idea when I was looking to purchase my first home was an idea that I was introduced to in my early adult years. And that's the idea of house hacking, or the BRRRR method, essentially being able to either buy a property with a secondary suite or renovate and add a secondary suite into that property to then be able to supplement the carrying cost of the home and bring in additional income. And then when the family is ready to move on or upsize, we can rent out that second unit as well, move out, ideally refinance the property, have our down payment, and then it's carrying itself.
Right. So in terms of what that meant for being able to have a secondary unit, what exactly were you looking for? Like, what was your search criteria in your first property?
Yeah, so in order to purchase something that can be converted, you have to adhere to the Ontario Building Code, the Fire Code. So there are some major components to buying something that has that potential that need to be adhered to, or it's going to be very expensive. So things like the ceiling height in the basement, the property setback from the property line, making sure it's not in any floodplains. These are all things that we needed to do on the due diligence end. And sometimes that means needing to go out and see 10, 15 houses and bring a tape measure with you every time to be able to measure, because the ceiling height in most homes is different. So
or you just arms up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Arms up, you want that separate entrance. You want to consider those egress windows when you're looking at properties that you're considering converting. And when Peter said the BRRRR method, this is an investor method, and the acronym BRRRR stands for buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. So tell me a little bit about the renovate portion of it.
Yeah, so the idea is that you're buying something that needs some work done. So you're basically buying the floor value, so to speak, of this certain property type, and you're looking to convert it into its highest and best use. And part of that is doing these strategic renovations. So theoretically, on the main floor, you're going to have something that is close to original or not going to appeal to the masses. And what you're able to do over time is just put some lipstick on it. Not to say that you're not doing good renovations, but they're strategic. You're not overly renovating the property, but you are looking for it to appeal to a wide array of tenants who will eventually be moving in. But more importantly, for the basement, adding in that secondary suite. So you're buying something that's either unfinished or has a very dated basement, because you don't want to be paying for the updates of another owner. Mm-hmm. And then as you're doing those renovations while you're living in the property, you are again forcing the value of the home up, because you're turning it from a single family home into a legal 2-unit property, which now has income potential.
That's right. So you're building sweat equity in the property while you're living in it, doing these strategic renovations. As Peter mentioned, you want to stay away from extensive renovations, anything foundational issues, structural issues. You're looking for a property with really good bones that you can add value to with some cosmetic updates, right?
Yeah, and the theory behind these renovations, they do sound expensive. What we're looking to do is, ideally, once we're ready to move on, so we're going to be living in the property first. And once those renovations in the basement are done, we're able to rent that out. That's going to supplement a good portion of the income that we're going to need to carry the home. Now, when we're ready to move, which could be in 4, 5, 6 years, the whole idea is you will have paid down your mortgage a certain degree, properties will have appreciated a certain degree, and so you can actually pull that money back out, because you've already forced the value of the home up. Now you have appreciation and mortgage pay down working on your side, and so you're going to recoup a lot of that money that you put in. And now, because you're adding a tenant upstairs as well, that's going to go a long way in actually paying for those incurred carrying costs. Now you have this chunk of change that you can put down towards the next home that you want to buy.
That's right. And what the bank also considers in your refinance is that you have converted this property into a legal 2-unit dwelling. So they are taking that rental income into account when they refinance and you go on to upsize properties. So this is like a long-term strategy to buy and hold these investment properties, which will, in essence, build generational wealth, which is really exciting for you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the keys is understanding that in order to purchase an investment property that's not your principal residence, you need to buy it with 20% down. And the only way that you're really going to be able to get around that is by buying something that you're going to be moving into and living in. So this gives you the option of not only moving in and living into that property, but also pushing the value up through those renovations that you're doing over time. So it's giving you a much lower barrier to entry into the housing market, that over time at your comfort level, you're able to do those renovations. Because for so many young people in the beginning, it's very hard, A, to find the money, and B, to find the resources available to you to actually be able to do this properly and do it within a short timeline. So typically having that longer time frame is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a strategy that I used when I entered into the market. And when I entered into the market, I wasn't able to do it myself. So it was a joint venture situation where I partnered with two other people to enter into the market, buy something that we converted into a legal 2-unit. And a few years later, we were actually able to refinance, pull out the equity, and without touching any of our own money, purchase another investment property to do the same thing. So this really is an incredible strategy to build generational wealth and to set yourself up for retirement.
Mm-hmm. And you can see how this method really snowballs itself moving forward, right? So once you've done the work in the first home, you're keeping that, you're not selling it, and then you're buying another one, maybe then you're doing it a third time. And then from there, you don't need to be this huge real estate investor to have 2 or 3 properties that are self-sustaining, and then you have the ability to move into your forever home. But you have 3 properties that are essentially paying themselves off. And by the time you're a retirement age, you have a better pension than anybody who I know that has just a standard pension.
No, absolutely. And you're setting yourself up for your future, for your family's future, your children's future. It just really is something that I think that we're passionate about. We're passionate about it for our clients. If there is the potential for our clients to hold on to their first property, refinance, pull out that equity, rent it out, if it makes sense in terms of cash flow, and move on to the next property to upsize into the home of their dreams while keeping their first property. It's just, again, such an incredible way to set yourself up for your future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so overall, if you are young and you're thinking about getting into the market, I think considering this as a medium to do so is a great idea, especially if you're investment oriented and you're looking to build a portfolio for yourself. But you don't have to draw the line there. House hacking could be as simple as buying a 2-bedroom condo and having a friend move in and rent part of that condo from you, right? The whole idea is it is expensive to own a home, and if you can supplement any portion of that, it's going to go a long way in allowing you to build equity, build a good chunk of change for yourself in the housing market by being in the housing market, but supplementing that expense by having other people paying you for that real estate.
That's right. It's all about entering into the property ladder at the earliest possible opportunity. And there are quite a few ideas, tips, tricks, hacks in order to get you into the market to climb that property ladder. If you're looking for any more information on it, what the numbers look like, some possibilities for you and another partner, please feel free to reach out and contact us anytime. This is something that we do personally for ourselves and also for our clients. So we would be happy to help take a look at your particular scenario and where you're at in your journey and help you along the way.
So we hope you guys found that useful. If you have any questions about the BRRRR method, about house hacking, or how you can set yourself up, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. And if you found this video useful or helpful, please leave us a comment and like the video below. Let us know if you have any questions. And as always, thank you for watching.